Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of From the Bottom Up. And today, this episode here, we are ranking the songs, our least favorite to our favorite, on the big number one smash, 5 times platinum from Mr. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, none other than Against the Wind. Against the Wind obviously came out way back February 27th, 1980, produced by big producer, used to produce the Eagles, among many other acts, none other than Bill Szymczyk. And the album features 10 tracks and was released on Capitol Records here. So let's dig right in on this one here. This album, 10 tracks in all. And oddly enough, our number 10 song on this album is going to take us back to none other than the first song on the album. That's Horizontal Bop. Um, yeah, first this song was the fourth and final single released, and it only made up to number 42, sadly enough. Um, my take on it was I feel that it was an odd choice for a single with all the other songs on the album that you could have picked, and that was the problem with Capitol Records because Bob Seger, you know, he did want Fire Lake to be the first single released, but after that he really didn't care, and he let them do it. He didn't really get involved in any of that, and that probably hurt. This album could have been even bigger if he picked. I feel if he picked the right singles. Now, obviously, that was the fourth single from the album. It's a fast-paced rocker to kick off the album. But it just doesn't scream single. It's not really that catchy. Obviously there's a lot of, double wording going on there. Take it for what it's worth, what the horizontal bop means. But I don't know. It's just an okay song. That's why I got it at number 10. And that's going to take me down to number 9, which is a slower song, but perhaps probably the least known of all the songs on the album. Just never really got no airplay. And it kind of hides on the album. So we're talking about number 9 for us is Good for Me. You know, it's a solid song, no doubt about that. I would definitely say that it's definitely a good song. Just not too memorable. And that's why I call it, kind of like the least known song on the album because I've heard everybody talk about all the other ones, but this one kind of gets left off the list there, but it's definitely to me a good song. Good for me. Takes me down to number 8, and that's going to take us to the third single released, which is You'll Accompany Me, which peaked at number 20. It's kind of good mid-tempo tune, features gospel-like backing vocals, solid single, peaked at number 20. And I would have probably picked a couple more songs before this one. But that's why I got it at number 8, just because I feel it's not as strong as the other 7 songs that are ranked better than it. So that's what we got there. You'll accompany me at number 8. Number 7, Her Strut. This song is definitely, it goes over really well live, a lot of airplay on the radio. And it was the B-side to Horizontal Bop. Maybe they should have switched the two around. I don't know. Um, This one kind of picks up the pace of the album, though, gives it a real jolt there early on. But I feel this is more a representation of Bob at his best when he's really trying to rock out. This song definitely has a lot more power and it's more memorable. It just sticks out much more. So number 7, Her Strut, which is going to take us down to number 6, which is going to be another fast-paced song here. None other than the good old boogie, fast-paced rocker. It's like an school style rocker, none other than Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight. This has that really solid rock and roll beat, and it sounds like a song from yesterday in a way. It just got that great piano work and everything on it. Just it's just solid. Definitely one of the songs that got a lot of airplay by us, even though it wasn't released as a single. So Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight, number six. And this is where I would say right now, this is where the album turns completely from solid songs to excellent songs. I mean, these five remaining songs I have here, all of them simply excellent. I usually don't say that about an album too much this early on, but we got half the album is just has excellent songs on it. So number five is going to take us to No Man's Land. Just a stellar song. One of the highlights of the lesser played songs from the album, and definitely a song with a lot of meaning for many people. There's a lot of ways reading into the lyrics on this one. Definitely a great song here, no doubt. So, No Man's Land at number five. Number four, I would say this probably one of the most underrated tunes on the album, only for the fact that it just didn't get a lot of airplay, that you would have thought for a song of this magnitude. So I'm giving it to this song. Perfect way to bring the album to a close. Ends on a positive note with positive vibes. And of course, we are talking about Shining Brightly. Just a stellar song, one of the highlights of his whole catalog. Very surprised that he hasn't really played it over a large portion of his touring there. It's just one of these great songs that, man, when I think of this song, I think of Bob Seger right away. It screams Seger. It's just a awesome song, and I thought it would be even more popular than it turned out to be. But that's what we got it for number four, and we're going to take you down to our number three, and we're going to take you out on the tracks here, on the railroad tracks, as we take a ride on the Long Twin Silver Line. Oh man, what a great, great song this one is. Probably the class of the fast-paced songs on this album. What musicianship, the band really loves playing it. He played it quite a bit over his last few tours. Well, actually, on the he did three tours from like 2013 and on, and he definitely played it a bunch on 2013, and then he played it a few times on his final tour in 2019. And he usually reserved it as the opening track in the show. So it's pretty unique how a guy on his last tour was still mixing up his set lists on a kind of regular basis. And not only that, he's throwing in a song like this as the first song. A lot of times a band will like kind of have a song later on in the set where they alternated in and out with another song, but this time around, definitely he would play this one first. What a great way to kick off the show, I'll say for sure on that one. So number three, Long Twin Silver Line. Number two, the title track. Of course, we're talking about Against the Wind. What can be said about this song that hasn't already been said? Number five smash single. It was released as the second single, and this song has a unique history. It took 2 years to write. Seeger really wanted to make sure that this song in particular was going to help propel the album to a number one because he wanted a number one album, and his goal here definitely was met, and he got what he wanted. Against the Wind, a number five smash. Also, a unique thing, this song features backing vocals from none other than Glenn Frey from the Eagles. This is one of those songs that kind of like a looking back, as you grow older, um looks back at yesterday a little bit as one grows older and wiser. So definitely stellar song here, Against the Wind at number two. And I have the number one song here in my estimation was the first song I ever heard off this album, the first single released from this album. And we are talking none other than Fire Lake, which hit number six. And this song has a unique history because it was written over a 10-year span. Initially, he wanted this to be on Beautiful Loser, but he just felt it wasn't complete. So he just kept working on it. And then finally, after all those years, it shows up here on Against the Wind and definitely worth the wait. This is one of the best songs Seger has out there, if not possibly the best. Um, what helps make this song even better is you got three of the Eagles came by to provide backing vocals, and that's of course Glenn Frey once again, Don Henley, and of course Timothy B. Schmidt. Yeah, just a great song, no doubt, Fire Lake, and that's why we got it at number one. All right, so now I'm gonna run it down real quick. The full countdown. We got number 10, Horizontal Bop. Number 9, Good for Me. Number 8, You'll Accompany Me. Number 7, Her Strut. Number 6, Betty Lou's Getting Out Tonight. Number 5, No Man's Land. Number 4, Shining Brightly. Number 3, Long Twin Silver Line. Number 2, Against the Wind. And Fire Lake, number 1. And real quick on this album that I did when I mentioned that this album is his lone number one album. And for a while there, he probably didn't think he was going to get it because he hit number two and he stayed there for 5 full weeks, stuck at number two because he had a problem trying to outsell none other than Pink Floyd's The Wall, which was number one at the time. But he finally did it after 5 weeks at number two. The next week it peaked at number one, and Against the Wind stayed there for 6 weeks. So to knock a heavyweight album off there like The Wall, that just goes to show you how good this album really is. And as you can see from the songs that I just mentioned and went through here, definitely a well-deserved number one album for Mr. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. So that's it on that. Stay tuned for more episodes down the road. And definitely please like our videos if you feel that you've gotten something out of it. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. That way you'll be alerted, right away when we do post a new video. We plan on doing this series couple times a week, so that way you get a good take on many of the classic albums that are out there. And like I said, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments or send us a message, whatever the case may be, and we will definitely do our best to see if we can comply on any of the albums that you want to see a ranking for from the bottom up. Signing off. See ya.